fun little project for you here. Kind of a beginner user laser project using something really inexpensive, and that's these dishes you can get at Dollar Tree. It's $1.25 right there. I'm going to show you how to engrave a shape, graphic, whatever, onto one of these plates. And not just a white one, but a black one. And the neat things about using the black ones or the dark blue ones is you don't need to pre-coat them with paint. These here, as they come, you're going to need to get them cleaned real good. Then you're going to need to put a couple light coats of white high content titanium dioxide paint onto that plate. And after they're painted, they look like this. Yeah, they're white again, still white. But it's important that you use white paint. Black paint doesn't work, or red paint. Titanium dioxide is what penetrates and gives that black engrave. So you can also mix your own titanium dioxide paste, spray it on too if you wanted to. But Rust-Oleum matte white spray paint works just fine. So let me take you over. I'll show you how to put the paint on these, and you absolutely have to let it dry overnight. Don't paint it and take it right over to your laser and try to go with it. Okay, got a couple plates over here all cleaned up and pretty much spotless, as much as could be expected. What I'm using here is Rust-Oleum's Ultra Cover Paint and Primer, Ultra Matte White. Gloss white also works, as does a satin white. You'll definitely want to use white or an off-white, because it has the highest content of titanium dioxide, and that's what you're going to need for this engrave. Now, you don't need to go overboard here doing this, and you don't need to paint the whole thing. You're only going to be engraving right down here in the center. You're not going to be coming up the sides. So it's just some light coats. And I'll let that set for a couple seconds, let it flash a little bit, and then I'll go back the other direction. That's all you need. You don't need any more than that. Let it dry overnight. Okay, for this particular project, I'm using the MECPOW laser here because I already had it on the table. I just got done doing a video about making this layout grid, so I thought it'd be handy enough to use. 10-watt laser. You need to focus on the plate down here, and something else you're going to have to do is work from what they call current position. So you're going to need to put your laser head into the center of the plate, and I'll show you why here. Because after you set your focus, this particular one, they got this little plate you put down. Okay, you got your focus set. Now, the reason you can't use absolute coordinates and come from home is because the laser will actually drag the plate with it, because you see now it doesn't clear it. So what you're going to need to do is get your plate in the center. I should have centered this on my grid first. That would have made it easier with this layout grid, but we're going to eyeball this here, get it pretty close. You can also use a compass or a pair of dividers to find absolute center. So there that is, and we're going to be working from center. And my finish will be right where that is. So it'll finish there. If it tries to go home, it'll drag the plate with it. So you don't want to do that. So here's the graphic I'm using right here, and I have this, I just have it centered on my work area. Again, I'm current position, job origin is center. I just like to work that way. So now what we want to do is frame this, and because it's a round graphic, I'm going to use the circular frame. That way we make sure that the shield on the laser does not hit the plate and move it. I also saw that I'm not quite in the center. So I'll frame this again. That's why it's nice to frame these. You make them fine adjustments. Okay, from there, what's my settings here? This is a 10 watt laser. I'm using 300 millimeters per minute at 90% power. And I do not need 2 passes here. 1 pass will do it. It should. We'll hit start and away we go. Engrave time on this, let's say it's a line engrave. We're not doing any fill or anything here. It's 11.5 minutes. Okay, I waited until this was about halfway through the engraving before I turn on the air assist so I can show you the difference. Do you have to have air assist to do this on ceramic? No, you don't. But it helps to blow some of the debris out, and it'll keep your lens from getting fouled as it burns through that ceramic glazing. So you can kind of see on one side of that engraving is more white than the other side. They'll both look the same once you do the little Windex and clean it off. Okay, that engraving's done, so I just need to take that out from under the laser, and because the heads, you could raise the head. In my case, I'm just going to lift the laser up. So there you see it's all kind of white and fuzzy and everything. I'll clean that off. Okay, I've got the white one set in there and I've got it going, and of course always make sure you check your focus because the white plates are a little bit thicker than the black ones. So I had to reset my focus. I made sure I was in the center. If you're not sure how to find the center, I eyeballed this. I should have really measured it. Measure your diameter of your plate. Take a pair of dividers or a compass. Take that dimension, cut it in half. Set your divider or compass to that. Put one edge on the edge of the plate and make a little mark in the center. Do that several times around. That way you can find dead center. Okay, here we're doing 300 millimeters per minute, 90% power, but I'm doing this in 2 passes because it gives a nice dark burn. And I like the way it comes out that way. 1 pass would work, but you get a lot darker engraved this way. Of course, it takes twice as long, but that's okay. And I do have the air assist on because, again, it keeps the lens from getting fouled from the fumes or soot or whatever that would generate. This does make a little bit of an odor. It's not horrible or objectionable, but you will be able to smell it. So there it is. I just need to go clean it off, and I'll show you how we do that. Okay, what I use is acetone. There's different things you could use, but I just prefer to use acetone. And I keep some in one of these recycled coffee cans here. So what I do then is just coat the top of that with acetone. Let it set for a little bit. As you can see, that paint's just peeling right off of there, blistering right up. Yes, I know I should have gloves on. Then I just take another clean cloth. Then I'll just wash that with some Windex. So that's all there is to that. This is very similar to what's called the Norton white tile method. You take the ceramic tiles like you buy at the home store, and you coat them with paint, and you can laser engrave a design on them. And I don't have a cork backing on this one, but you can put a cork backing on this and then you can use it for a coaster. I've also sold a lot of these of some really oddball designs to a person that owned a bar that actually put these tiles up as a border around the bathroom. And it wasn't palm trees, it was sugar skulls and some kind of interesting things. But as you can see, you get pretty much the same results. And I do encourage you to look around on the interwebs, or whatever they want to call it, and find the test pattern for what they call the Norton white tile method. I had it somewhere, but it's all over the place on the internet. Google it, you'll find it. The Norton white tile method, what it's called, or NWT. And you can run a test on a tile, and then you can pick, get in a little closer here, on what speed and power. This is power across the bottom here, and this is your speed. So what speed and power would be best for your particular laser. This test tile was not done on this laser. This is from something else. It was just laying around here. It gives you an idea, and you can pick the best black color. For example, here, the best would be 90% power at 1500 millimeters per minute. And this was done on a more powerful laser than a 10 watt, but kind of gives you an idea. So there's a couple of options of things you can do with these Dollar Tree plates. Just kind of get acquainted with your laser. These are not expensive, and you can come up with some kind of interesting things. Okay, now the graphic on here, no, you can't have that graphic. I had to buy that. That's a purchase graphic that I use on some of our projects that we sell. And if you don't know how that kind of thing works, if you go to these different sites, you can purchase a graphic with a license where you can make of as many projects as you want and sell as many as you want, but you cannot sell or give away that graphic. That's part of the license agreement on it. Or if you want to play with something even cheaper, you can play with these ceramic tiles from your local home store. These are about 50 cents. So whatever you want to do. But just kind of wanted to get you acquainted with how to do this, and you don't need a real high power laser to do it. This MECPOW right here, 10 watt laser, did it just fine. So if you got anything out of this, appreciate getting a thumbs up. Always helps the channel. I'm Roger in the shop. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.